To all you people who love people to have driver license, registration, insurance, all that, we don't have to have it no more. The overturning of the Chevron doctrine prevents the legislative branch from enforcing their regulations, policies, rules, mandates, edicts, and all that as law. Because as it states in the Constitution, only Congress can make laws, and only the executive branch can enforce laws. So all these three-letter agencies, the DMV, the EPA, the ATF, the CIA, the FBI, none of them and more, none of them can no longer enforce or have their rules, regulations, and whatever enforced as law. So now the three-letter agencies has to go to the courts, which is the U.S. Supreme Courts, the higher courts, where there are judges that has an oath of office and a bond certificate. None of these traffic court so-called judges has a bond certificate. And I don't believe they have an oath of office either. So even when you go into these places, in the courts, you have to ask the judge or demand the judge to show you their oath of office and their bond certificate. They have to show it to you to prove that they are legit judicial judges, because they are the only ones that gets those two, especially the bond certificate, because they have to have a bond. So the DMV can no longer enforce driver's license, registration, forced insurance, titles. They can't enforce that anymore. They don't have, there's no law that gives them the right to do that. They weren't elected. They're appointed by people in the government to be in the legislative branch. We don't elect them. So they don't have that we can't even give them the ability from us to enforce those rules and regulations as law. Only Congress. So there has to be a majority of people that gets out there and screams to Congress to make it a law in order for us to have that. That Congress can say yes, it is law that driver's licensing is needed and is required. It's no longer considered a regulation, it's considered a law. Only Congress can make laws, and only the executive branch can enforce the laws. And traffic cops and traffic courts was created by the legislative branch. They can no longer enforce those as law. And they're still going to try it because they're not talking about this in the news. Because they don't want people to know we don't have to have that no more. So the news is involved in protecting those three-letter agencies. We can sue them now. We can sue the United States government now. The Chevron doctrine was created to prevent us from suing them. We can now sue them for violating our right to travel freely in our automobile. They can no longer just say by law or whatever that it's a motor vehicle. They can't interpret anything anymore. Only the courts, the actual courts, can interpret the law or those rules and regulations and make sure that it is reasonable to say yes, you can enforce that. So nobody needs any of that stuff anymore. We're free. We just become free. Everybody can take their plates off, their registration. You don't need it no more. Congress never made it a law. So, you all take care. Bye.